Dear students, good morning. Welcome back to Al Farouk School Social Science online class. The last class we discussed about the democratic situation in different countries. And we discussed China, Mexico, Pakistan, Zimbabwe, Estonia, and Lithuania, Saudi Arabia. These countries, how they following the democratic situation. In this class, we are going to discuss about the merits and demerits of the democracy. Thinkers are separated. Some of them argument against the democracy. Some of them put forward argument in favor of the democracy. Okay, democracy is the better form of the government and in which people elect their rulers directly or indirectly. This democratic situation is in favor of the people. It fulfills the needs and interests of the people. Democracy guards the rights and freedoms of the people. In this democratic situation, we can say that democracy is the better form of the government. But we have some demerits also. The opposition and critics point out some of the demerits of the democracy. Democracy is not a better form of the government. It destroys the political system. First point, democracy creates the political instability. The leaders keep on changes. In this way, there is a political instability. Second point is that പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻ ആൻഡ് പവർ പ്ലേ. ഡെമോക്രസിയിൽ പരിപൂർണമായ പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ കോമ്പറ്റീഷന് മത്സരങ്ങളും അതേപോലെ അധികാര മത്സരങ്ങളും ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് ഡെമോക്രസി ഈസ് നോട്ട് എ ബെറ്റർ ഫോം ഓഫ് ദി ഗവൺമെൻറ്. ദ തേർഡ് ഡീമെറിറ്റ്സ് ഓഫ് ദി ഡെമോക്രസി ഈസ് ഡിസിഷൻ ഓൺ ഡിലേ. ഇൻ എ ഡെമോക്രാറ്റിക് സിസ്റ്റം the people have to be consulted in a democracy that leads to the delay. In a democratic situation, if anything need to implement or practice in a democracy, that leads to the decision on delay. ഡെമോക്രസിയിൽ എന്തുണ്ടെങ്കിലും അത് വൈകുന്നത് ഒരു ഡീമെറിറ്റ്സ് ആണ്. നെക്സ്റ്റ് വൺ ഈസ് ദാറ്റ് ഇലക്റ്റഡ് ലീഡേഴ്സ് ഡോണ്ട് നോ ദ റിയൽ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ദ പീപ്പിൾ. ഇറ്റ് ലീഡ്സ് ടു ദ ബാഡ് ഡിസിഷൻ. In a democracy, and the elected leaders something they fulfill the needs and interest, but actually it is not the real ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ദ പീപ്പിൾ. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഡെമോക്രസിയിൽ സാധാരണ ഏത് ഗവൺമെൻറ് നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടി ചെയ്തു തരാൻ എന്താ, കുറേ റോഡ് ഉണ്ടാക്കും, കുറേ ബിൽഡിംഗ് ഉണ്ടാക്കും, കുറേ കുടിവെള്ളം തരും. പക്ഷെ നമ്മളെ യഥാർത്ഥ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് പലപ്പോഴും ഗവൺമെൻറ്റോ ലീഡേഴ്സോ മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നില്ല. അത് ഡെമോക്രസിയിൽ ഒരു ബാഡ് ഡിസിഷൻ ഉണ്ടാകുന്നു. Okay, that's the next one is bad decision of the system. The next one is that the corruption in a democracy leads to the corruption based on the election competition and huge amounts money spent during the time of election by the political party and leaders during the time of the election campaign. That leads to so many problems in a democratic situation. Okay, that we called corruption. Corruption is the important things in a democratic system. During the time, the corruption is that destroy the democracy. During the election campaign and other activities, the leaders engaged in a corruption. Okay, and in this corruption system, that destroy the qualities of the democratic situation, and most of the leaders and political parties, they handled and engaged the money activities in illegally. The next one is that in a democratic system, the ordinary people don't know which is the good them. So in where they don't know what is the in the system, what is the real interest of the people, and sometimes they should not decide anything and what is the good for them. Here is a and that creates the confusion among the people. നമ്മൾ തന്നെ ചില സമയത്തുണ്ടല്ലോ ഏത് പാർട്ടിയാണ് നല്ലത്, ഏത് ഗ്രൂപ്പാണ് നല്ലത്, ഏതാ ലീഡർ, and we the people have the confusion and which is the best and which is the worst. The people don't know which is the good party, which is the bad party, At the time of the voting time also they engaged in the confusion. Okay, and let us wind up the main important point. First one, leaders keep the changing in a democracy. This leads to the instability. Second one, democracy is all about the political competition and power play. There is no scope for the morality. Third one, so many people have to be consulted in democracy that leads to delay. Electoral leaders don't know the best interest of the people. It leads to the bad decision. Democracy leads to the corruption for based on the electoral competition. Ordinary people don't know what is the good for them. They should not decide anything. Okay, so we can see that on the basis of these things, the democracy is not a better form, and it is the bad kinds of the government, and here is no scope for the goodness, and other kinds of the government is better than democracy.